Hello.
Hiya.
So here we are again. This week we're going to talk about
Change. And what today we're going to look into is, can we see change as a good thing? I know sometimes change can be bad, but change can also be good. It can be unsettling. What are the ways that we can look at it differently and embrace it?
And so again, we're using our own lives as examples. So we had an idea, okay, we're going to move and then we're going to set up this business purely focusing on that. But then other people, which is about mental health and excessive screen use. But then people who know us and are around us, they said, but why would you not focus on acting? Because that's what you both love, what you've done.
Have experience in and probably would be really great at teaching more of,
And it's funny that you need those people around you to make you aware about, because sometimes we're trying to be, creative and find different, of course you need different things, but for us acting is so natural and so normal, so why would we not? But we didn't think about it.
So it's also about being sensitive to your own path and thinking, okay, at what point am I overdoing the commitment and determination to this one thing and actually holding myself back from changing it into where I should really be? And that's really difficult to know, and that's never really going to become apparent until you hit that point of frustration or enough people say to you, why don't you try this? So I think the thing is with change as well, when that happens, is go with it. Try not to fight it if you really feel like it's something that's going to be helpful, because change is the one thing that we can be sure of in this life. That's the one constant, is that things will change.
It will, with everything, life is evolving. Your kids, when you've got a baby, the baby will grow. Will get older and change, and you change. In a relationship you change because you learn from each other. Maybe at some point it is that you know that your roads, your paths are not together anymore and you separate anyway, but that's all with change. But instead of seeing it, like Andrew says, as a negative, and especially in those moments, and sometimes there's very difficult changes, but instead of then putting yourself in a victim mentality and say, oh, but this is changing and, I got fired, or, which, need to take time to process that. And of course you can feel sorry for yourself for a moment. But then, okay, what is a positive out of this? I now can go into a different direction. And again, for us, when people said, oh, but why don't you also focus on that? We were like, yeah, why not? Because it will, open our horizon for the finances coming in, because we're still pushing really hard, and why not try that different avenue? And that's something it can add on to what we are already trying to set up.
Yeah.
I don't know, my mouth is just forming its words.
In a strange way. Backwards, upside down, and staccatoing. Yeah, in Jamie style.
Yes.
But as well as that, I think in addition to that, it kind of links in with our vlog on acceptance as well, and that thing that Eckhart Tolle said in his book in New Earth, that people create pain for themselves when they aren't in a place of acceptance, joy, or enthusiasm. And that happens with change. If we're not enthusiastic about the change, or we're not joyful in it, or we're not accepting of it, then we're going to try and hold something and keep it the same as what it was, and that's impossible, because it's against the nature of the way our universe is kind of
the world
growing and moving. So yeah.
And I actually, so this morning we had an interesting discussion about politics, and now we're not going too far into that, but I'm just for me it's from a moral side, the thing that angers me most on this planet is injustice. And the same for you.
Same for me.
But then sometimes Andrew says, well, from a rational point of view, let's try. And I was quite stubborn, and I'm still quite stubborn because I still don't want to give in. But I got really angry.
Colourful language.
But again, with we're also at the moment watching a Second World War documentary, which is very insightful because, you know, if we would have lived in those times and there's still war on this planet, you know, we should be so grateful that we live in the time
really
that
makes you grateful.
Yeah, that the time we live in now, and then our political situations now, we're angry at, or well, some people are, angry at them, but then again, you don't know what comes from that. So instead of pushing against that and being angry and letting that suck away your energy, you might as well think, well, I'm just going to focus on myself, and what the politics do, they can just...
And maybe change your attitude to it, or change your emotion, and it's not easy to change our emotions, but all we got to do is get up, go for a walk. There's, you know, all those things that we advise you to do whenever you feel a bit stuck, like reading, writing, walking, breathing, meditating, exercise,
very important,
eating healthily, all that kind of stuff. Talking to your friend about it, and really listening and having a proper conversation. So I think the challenge this week for you guys is really, if you feel stuck or if you feel like change is upon you and it's hard and you don't want it, then
why do you not want it?
And also, what can you learn from the change, and how can the change be good? Because you can always look at the silver lining, you can always look at the positive side of things, because there's always two sides to a coin. And definitely challenge yourself to look at the positives and focus on those instead of the things that are negative about it, because you will learn and you will grow.
Grow.
I
think that means the end of this vlog.
Oh, right. Okay. Just with the intonation of it.
Grow. But that's all we wanted to share with you this week, and
you hope we find it useful, and
have a good week.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye.